Hi, my name is Bella Carrasco, and helping others feel confident about investing brings a huge smile to my face. After working in the private equity, family office, and securities markets for nearly a decade, I am breaking down the world of money, investing, and financial freedom. Work optionality isn't a dream, it's a decision you make today. I bring you actionable tips, expert interviews, and enlightening strategies to help you get richer and stay that way. This is the How Do You Know podcast. And this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Please consult with a qualified financial professional for advice specific to your situation. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the podcast producers or sponsors. We make no representations or warranties regarding the accuracy or completeness of the content. In this month's episode, Stephanie really took us through basic financial concepts from different investment options to your more rudimentary investment tips. I personally don't do much with stocks. I put in very minimal in my 401k and have robo-advisors to help me with my stock allocation. So I just answer simple questions about retirement goals, age, horizon, risk tolerance, and then it allocates for me between domestic, international stocks, and then it allocates for me between domestic stocks, international stocks, and bonds. I personally know that I don't have time to dig into corporate earnings and the things that I would like to research before buying an individual stock, but there are plenty of platforms out there that do allow you to do this. I just prefer tangible assets, probably because that's what I'm most comfortable with. So everyone will feel a little bit different depending on their experience and circumstance. Going off of that, you also do have alternative investments in venture capital to consider as well, apart from the typical stock and bond portfolio that most people are interested in. And the ultra high net worth have roughly 30% of their net worth into the real estate bucket. So there is this group called Tiger 21. Every quarter, they put out their allocation, so what that group is investing in. Tiger 21, you have to have a minimum net worth of, I think it's upwards of 50 million, somewhere around there. So these folks really have high net worths, and it's really interesting to see what they're investing in. On the other hand, venture capital is tough because I've heard you need to invest in about 20 to 30 of them, just small little 5,000 investments here and there, and hope that one hits. So even professionals that are in this day in and day out find it hard to find a venture capital company that does blow up for them. If you think that you will just invest in one and hit a home run, you very well could, but it's a very low probability. So I always steer clear of those type of investments. They are definitely fun and sexy and shiny, but always just keep in mind the idea there would be that the higher risk you take on, the higher you would get compensated for that level of risk. Venture capital is also much longer in hold, so you do have to hold it for probably over 7 years before you see anything. So again, just taking a thermometer of where you are today and being able to ask yourself if you have 7 years to actually get anything, or it could turn to zero. So this is why I'm always hammering the idea of making a plan for yourself, because the shiny object syndrome is very real. And you only have so many hours in a day and so much mental capacity in a day to be analyzing all of these investment opportunities with the care and intention that you need and should. But if you have an idea of where you are today and you take an inventory of that, these decisions become easier, and then you don't have to burn yourself out as much when you're looking at all the different options that are out there. If you know what you want your outcome to be, then that makes today's decisions way easier, and it can provide a lot of clarity for you. You can start by looking at your own values, which is a less common tactic, but an equally important one, and then just create a simple budget for yourself that you review. It's not enough to just make the budget. You need to make sure that you're actually revisiting it every so often and making sure that you are abiding by it. So every week, I just do a quick run through of my statement, put it into my little spreadsheet, and see how well I'm following along with my budget. And that way I can tweak things here and there. If I overspend 1 month, then the following month, hopefully I can save a little bit more. But your future self will thank you for remaining disciplined and sticking to your budgeted items, These guidelines can help you ensure that you get to retire or achieve whatever financial goal you're setting out to. And you can Google a lot of different recommendations out there. I technically like to stick around the 50% of your income goes to your needs. And then in that 50% bucket, don't exceed 30% of what you make in housing. So just try to stick to under that. And if you get under that, that's even more savings for you to use at your discretion. As for savings, I definitely try to do about 20% or more. Right now, I am trying to do a little bit more, but not everyone is in that same environment. So just do what works for you. You can ramp those up or down depending on how serious you are about wanting to reach your goals faster, because enjoying life is equally as important. And so there's opportunity cost to everything. If you save more, then maybe you can't go to the concert that you want. But later on in life, maybe you do get to do a lot of the things that you want to be doing. I also recommend a rainy day savings fund of about 6 months. So saving up, take an inventory of your expenses, look what you need to save to have at least 6 months worth of income in case you lose your job or something happens where you can't work anymore, but you can still support yourself. The 6 months gives you a pretty comfortable cushion to be able to handle any of life's curveballs. Something else that I really want to iterate is that your plan that you make will be wrong. But it's better to have a plan than nothing at all, because again, that lack of clarity will make decisions that much harder. Again, why I advocate for you to revisit this constantly and make a roadmap for yourself on how often you want to revisit this. Hi, I want to interrupt for a quick second because I am a big believer in emulating off of who you want to be. And I've gone through Christopher's program at Wealth Ops, where he truly gives you the education you need to help you manage wealth like a microfamily office. I encourage you to take a second to read his article or visit his website at wealthops.io. That will be linked as well. Okay, thanks. Back to it. Stephanie also touched on whole life insurance, which can be a very confusing topic in itself. There's people that are selling it out there that say the wealthiest families are using it, and then there are other people online saying it's an absolute scam. So I like how Stephanie outlines it and says that if you're using it for liability protection purposes, it may make sense for you. But if you're looking at it as an investment play, there are other ways where you can make more money. Ultimately, just don't be scared to invest, get yourself educated, and get yourself more confident, because the world's wealthiest people have to take risks. I hope you found this helpful. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out. Until next time, adios. Thank you for tuning in today. If you found any value and want to support the podcast, I would be forever grateful if you texted someone the link. You can say that you have a podcast episode that may be interesting for them. Also, if you have questions or topics you want covered, please don't hesitate to reach out on LinkedIn or Instagram. Remember that every step makes a difference. I hope that you continue to learn how to get richer and stay that way.